Thank you so much for coming back. Today is Tuesday, the last day of August, August 31st, and we are back with another edition of Morning Pages. I wanted to also give a quick promo for Friday. What I'm going to be doing is doing a Finish Friday after I do my morning pages, so around noon Hawaii time. I'm just going to turn on the camera while I try to finish one of these songs that we did during our morning pages over the last, it's been now almost 3 weeks. And yeah, it's been quite a fun journey so far. Still a total newbie when it comes to Twitch, so please forgive some of the technical glitches and all of that. So I appreciate your patience. So if you have any suggestions, please hit me up. I have no idea how to monitor the sound other than hear it afterwards and cringe. But otherwise, yeah, this has been really fun. So thanks for swinging by. Okay, so let's get started with looking at our parameters. But first, right now what you're listening to is a random radio station. It's my go-to. It's old-time radio, and I'm feeding that into beads, and I've got the dry-wet about 75% up to wet, and I've got the reverb all the way up, and I've got my density at a nice slow but unsteady speed. And so right now you're just hearing bits and pieces of dialogue that I have no idea what they're saying, although we can get an idea. If we just turn this down. You hear it? Wow. Yeah, so little bits and pieces of dialogue from the radio. And yeah, I love what beads can do to mangle all of that. So we'll mess around with the Eurorack during today's episode. But so today's parameters, we're at a nice mid-tempo 99 beats per minute. We're going to be in D-flat super Locarian. I'm not too familiar with that one either. I'm going to mess with the Moog Matriarch that I have right down here. And the live pack we'll be using is Unnatural Selection. I think I've messed with that a bit. And it's a good pack. There's a lot in there. We'll throw on, and actually we'll do this first, we'll throw on an Arturia Mellotron V, and we'll use a Max for Live device called ACDGEN. It's made by this guy, Icario, down in Brazil. He makes some really great devices, and he specializes in Max for Live devices to be fed into modular or Eurorack hardware. So, and then finally today's Oblique Strategy of the day is think inside the work / outside the work. So really philosophical, and we'll have to see if we can apply that to any of the elements today. So thanks again for joining, and let's go ahead and get started. Also, if you're watching, feel free to put something in the chat. Tell me where you're from. I know in the past I haven't been great at monitoring the chat, but I'm going to do my best in answering any questions you have. Or if you see a synth up here that you wanted to hear, I'd be happy to try and fire it up and make a noise from it. So I'm going to go ahead and keep this modular thing running. if you want to hear what is actually being run in here, I'm going to go ahead and let's see.
The snake and flung it, still coiled, to the center of the room.
So this is the audio that's being fed into beads right now.
Stopped by the wall, where it lay without motion.
I'm going to go ahead and send it back through the ES8 on channel 3. So you can't hear anything, but it's feeding through beads right now. Okay, so first things first, let's get to 99 beats per minute in our tempo. For our VST, why don't we start off with the Mellotron. Did I spell that right? Mellotron V by Arturia. Does anybody out there also use the V collection? I'm on version... It's the previous version, it's not the current one, so I think that's 7. Okay, and you already see that the first preset is Strawberry Flutes, and I know exactly how this is going to sound. If there's any Beatles fans out there, you'll recognize this. So let's also get into our correct scale. So that was D flat super Locarian. D flat, where is that? D flat, and then let me find it. Super Locarian. Here we go. Let's hear what that sounds like in this very typical Strawberry Fields Forever patch. Oh, it doesn't go all the way up because it's a faithful recreation of this old sampler. Let's explore some of these presets.
The world's weirdest radio station. It's one of mine.
Brass? Can you hear that?
You'll hear some of my
Nothing's coming out.
here on
I wonder if it's also a faithful recreation that if you press something, it might not always sound. Oh, you know what? It's the samples have to load up, I think.
Thanks for giving us the once.
D'accord. I wonder what's going on here. Oh, yeah, I think it's... It's kind of an interesting sounding patch, first of all, but then also scale's pretty interesting. No strawberries. Let's try no strawberries. I'm looking for a pad sound. I usually like using VSTs for pads for some reason. Okay. Well, while we wait for that to load, why don't we go ahead and patch something up on the Moog Matriarch. I'm gonna move this down right here. Then I'm just gonna patch something up. And since we're live, I don't want to spend too much time. Let's see, I'm going to use the patch book right here. And there are a couple that I really like on here. This digital guitar patch You see it? I love this one because it's well, first of all, a real simple patch, but then it also sounds like if you tweak it enough, it'll sound like New Order. So let's see if that patch came up. Ah, it's also messing with my CPU. That's probably it. I might have to, before we do anything, let me change my buffer size. I'll bump it up just a little bit. See if that helps. Oof. Okay. Well, maybe not too much, but we'll record something in a little bit later and we'll go ahead and freeze and flatten that. But right now, what we have on the Matriarch, hold on, I have to move my instrument rack over. Let's see, is anything coming up? Where's Matriarch? Nothing's coming through. Oh, I have to unpatch my CS1X from yesterday because I patched it into the Moog input. There we go. This is the current patch right now. If you have headphones on, you can see that this is a stereo patch. And this is what I love about the Matriarch, is that this path right here, where the oscillators are, this is all mono. But once you get to the mixer section, you can send it to the left or the right. There's dual filters, which can also be serve as a stereo filter with left and right. And you also have the envelope generators that you can actually split them so that you can have like a little, you can have a stereo patch, and then also, of course, the stereo BBD delay. So let's go ahead and I'm going to patch in this digital guitar, and I'm going to just play a, let's see, we're in D flat. So I'll just play this D flat as I move some of these knobs around so you can kind of hear the evolution of the sound. This section right here is the modulation, and you can kind of see how the mod wheel will affect the sound. So you can also put the pitch amount to the extreme and get some really crazy otherworldly sounds. Okay, so far so easy. Okay, so this one looks like everything is, and since it's a guitar sound, you know, we'll be using a little pulse wave. It's gonna have a plucky feeling to it. And then this is the mixer section where we could mix the oscillator volumes or levels. So I'm gonna go ahead, this is the filter section. It's a nice mild. So we're gonna be in stereo. So there's a bunch of patch cables we need to put in, but I'm just gonna go ahead and put these settings in first. Here's the envelope generator for the filter, and then this one's for the amplitude. Although we'll be using the amplitude section. And here's the delay. Multi-trig, and it's going to be one voice patch. Okay, now let's go ahead and patch this up. So it looks like we've got the output of the mixer going into the VCF one. Looks like we're chaining this. The VCF1 out is going into the VCF2 in. Nothing too crazy yet. The VCF2 out is going into the mult. And then with that, this mult is... Uh-oh, am I running out of accessible cables? So this first mult, so the VCF2 out is also going to go into the VCA1. So you can't hear anything yet. Let's see if that's going to fit. Yeah. Okay. We've lost our patch, but that's because nothing. Oh, yeah, we need this cutoff to go into the output of this attenuator is going to the control cutoff too, and then the input will be coming from the filter envelope generator. So let me find a long enough patch cable for that. I don't color coordinate these, but I think that would help in the long run. So I'm going to just tweak the sound to my liking, and then we'll have our patch for the day. You see, it kind of sounds a little New Order-ish. Yeah, I like that. Okay. Let's tackle the CPU issue head on, and let's go ahead and put in a little chord progression on this Mellotron. I'm thinking I don't want to... Oh, that's the Moog right now. It's being controlled by the push. If we go back to our Mellotron, maybe we'll just do a nice light pad progression. Oh, it doesn't go that low. Seems to like it better if I'm only pressing one key at a time. It doesn't like the polyphonic presses. Maybe we'll just do something simple like that. To get the tempo a little more interesting, let me just program a quick 4 on the floor. I don't have a drum kit on. The drum is being fed into the TR-8S. And I've got my 303 going. Okay. And then this will kind of help me get into the groove of things when we mess with this Mellotron. Oh, you hear that? How the sound just cuts off? yeah, that's what we'll do. Here, let me just record it. Something like that. And actually that chord kind of sounds interesting. And to cheat, and because I'm not familiar with this scale, I'm going to put this into scale mode. In Live 11, you now can view in the clip view just the notes that are in the particular scale. And if you press something outside of that, you know, if you have an external keyboard, that won't be colored the color of the clip. So in this case, it's yellow. So right now, everything is in the correct key. But now we're able to use this view to kind of explore some other patterns within that same key. And I want to do that so I could make this 8-bar, and I can change it. Yeah. There you go. Something like that. Maybe like that, and then we'll put this an octave down. So this will actually kind of change the root key a bit from C sharp to E. Actually, maybe all of this goes down. Is this going to sound? No, it's not going to sound. Maybe won't get too fancy. Just go like this, and then maybe once we get the audio, then I'm gonna pitch this down, because the Mellotron doesn't go down to go down another octave. Yeah. Okay. So in order to save some CPU, let's go ahead and just record that in. So there was a real abrupt end. I think that's the property of the Mellotron. And what I'm gonna do, since it's gonna fade in anyways, let me use my return to kind of give it a little. It's a little eerie. I don't know if this is really going to work, but okay. Let me look at another patch. Not super happy with it now. Let's look at the vocal. Blue Monday male choir. Taking a while to load. Should come up soon. So this is the you can see the Moog sound. Okay, this should come up. Is it coming? Oh, you know why? Because I turned off the track. Oh, it's kind of like that part of Blue Monday where they're... We're changing the root note, actually, with this, but I like that chord progression, so I'm going to just record it in so I don't forget it, and we're going to... So we got that. I'm thinking, yeah, we'll just take those last two and quantize it, and let me just record that in. Guess it didn't catch these. Oh.
I remember. We took him to the zoo. He was fascinated. Here he is a year ago.
This is what I'm gonna do. Make it a little bit smoother. Okay.
No one can show it.
Okay. So we got our little choir, and I think, you know, what we might have to just do is just change the key. I mean, the root key. Oh, wait a second. What happened? Oh, that's why. It's on the wrong clip. Let me get rid of these two. And that's what's great about morning pages, is you can always just change things around. There's really no real hard and fast rules to follow. Let's make sure we turn that off and we can hear this one. Let me just want to look at the loop point. Yeah, that's a good loop point. So this one we'll just call choir. That's the Blue Monday choir. I will not forget that name. And the root key is E, I think. So ignore what you see on the bottom. Maybe we will work in E. This sounds. Let's see how the Moog sounds with this. Yeah. Yeah, let's work with that. So I'm going to change the MIDI input, the Moog Matriarch, because before I was just using the push. Or actually, let me go back to push and let's just change the root key on here and see if there's like a good pattern so we can stay in the same scale. So changing it to E. I guess A is not in there. A is not in our Super Locarian. It's a really strange one to my ears, at least. I like that. It might not go with our choir. In fact, it probably won't. Wait. What are we gonna do? Take it all back. Let's just get back to D flat since we have it up on screen. And I don't know how to easily change that slide right now. And I like how that sounds. We should have just started up with this anyway. And let's just scrap these two for now. I'm just gonna that's so creepy sound. So, unfortunately, this took a lot of other MIDI information, but we can clean that up. I like how that sounded. Let's see. Let's see how this sounds. It's an odd... Let's see how this part sounds over here. This part sounds good too. I just gotta figure out a good way to get rid of all of these other notes. I mean, this is easy.
Silly. Hello. That's more like I know. Mother had the same reaction. I just got through
I mean, I couldn't hear them anyway. They're such short hits. But, I don't know. I don't like having them here. Actually, anything that's not in the root in this key I can get rid of. Or in the scale. Yeah, it's kind of a strange pattern. I'm usually not one to like this kind of, these kind of fake choirs. It almost sounds like, I don't know if anybody had an old synth or keyboard from the 90s, or 80s or 90s. That kind of has that quality to it.
Would you read that again? Oh my God.
Yeah, I don't mind this. Extend this out to
What unpleasant feeling. An old friend.
yeah, it's a weird 14 bar loop, but actually
You mean who? No, I don't.
actually maybe we won't even loop it. So let's go ahead and record this in.
I wonder. You wonder what?
And oh, but before we do that, let me put in some external effects. So I've got this external audio effect here, which if I turn on will now route all of that audio through the patch bay and into the H9 effects pedal. And so now we can add some external effects to this. Let's check it. Maybe a reverse reverb would be cool. Okay, watch your ears sometimes. Doesn't sound like it's going through any effects. I might actually have to restart it. So instead of doing all of that, because that tends to make things crash if I do it in the middle of a session without saving, let's use another H9 effect, but in the box. Oh, this, yeah, let's use shimmer verb. Let's give it some shimmer.
How about Cerulean?
This will add a bit more to the
He was on his way to
processing, but that's okay.
Too bad we missed it.
Let me turn off external effect. Honestly, I can't sonically tell the difference between the VST version of the H9 and the actual H9 unit itself. They did a really good job with the VST. I mean, there might be some slight differences, but not enough to justify the extra cost of having the outboard pedal. I like that. That's a little more haunting. I like how it rings out. So, in fact, what we'll do is we won't loop this and we'll let that last note ring out. Okay, I think we're finally ready to put this Mellotron to rest. And that's not going to work.
Or it can be a malignancy that feeds on darkness and ignorance. Is Mike a victim of...
How that turned out. Much better use of the Mellotron. So, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take this out of the set completely. And you'll see that my CPU has gone down pretty significantly. In the meantime, I don't want to miss out on any of this modular. So I'm going to record some in, and forgive the angle, but I'll let you see what I'm going to do.
All part of my wicked imaginations. How would you like to come out of
I want to
What do you mean?
modulate the seed.
To see if I can trace my origins. Maybe I'll
I want to also modulate
Well, I don't know, Mike.
the feedback, or what? Yeah, the feedback. Okay.
It's a gift from
Let's
our
see.
lucky neighbor.
Can we hear anything?
Warning. Leave or we will send you back to the hell where you belong. They're not all clods after all. Someone has imagination.
Wait, I need to get to that radio and get that sample real quick.
I'm going to find out who's responsible for this outrage.
That was such a great little sample. So now we have it, and let me put it into this set.
Delighted to see you. I think we can do without the formalities, Reverend Stokes. I just want some answers. Yes, so do I. I haven't seen you in church for quite a while. You're very fortunate. I didn't.
Okay, I'm gonna just start recording some of this audio and then twist some knobs.
And you don't believe in the presence of Satan? No, I don't. All I know is what that kind of talk leads to. Rick, you mean? I'm sorry about that. Well, yes, you should be. You've got these farmers half insane with your superstitious prattle. Some say that about religion. I wonder why. All right, let's not get sidetracked, Reverend Stokes. I don't want a theological debate. I want you to tell your congregation the truth. What is that something? That my son Mike raises France for his lab experiments. Have I found to believe in coincidence?
Yeah, this part.
Town is ripped apart every time your come returns. That cattle die for no reason at all. That we are suffering epidemics and the worst drought in our tell them that this is the 20th century. What else could it be? Ask your son, Dr. Stamper. Ask him if he's just doing lab experiments.
I told you, Dad, I'm going back where you found me. With or without you.
Mike, that is foolish. Cerulean
Oh, I need some more feedback.
found nothing.
What makes you think you can? Because I was born to it in Cerulean. You contaminated. I've got to go, Mike.
All right. Okay, we got some interesting little noise hits. Starting to go a little crazy now. Let me turn that off. So we got a little bit of, I mean, this could just actually add some texture, and what we can do is add another another effect to it or something.
I'm sorry about that. Well, yes, you should be.
Oh, you know what I want to do? I want to use that spectral resonator. And then we can make sure that all of this is in our key. This is a good way to kind of add a kind of a robotic sound, I guess, and ensure that we're in the key that we want. So we're in D flat or C sharp, right?
All I know is what that kind of talk
So there's some really crazy peaks. Maybe we can put a compressor on there. Or just a limiter. Or, well, you know what? I don't mind it kind of ringing out. Let's be sure we're on. Yeah. I think this will sound. Okay, so now we are definitely in that C sharp area. And then we can put in an Echo Boy crystallizer to add a little more texture and maybe add some reverb. Kind of loading this setup with a lot of VSTs, which makes me nervous. I'm running a Mac Mini 2012, 16 gigs of RAM, solid state drive, but it is starting to show its age. Let's see. Yeah, I like how that sound, and then if we add a little bit of reverb. From the hybrid reverb that I have in the turn track. Actually, if I do end up finishing this track, we could totally up the tempo. But for now, we'll stay at 99, and let's mess with the drums a little bit. Let's see, we also have Unnatural Selection. I wonder if Unnatural Selection has a drum kit. Let's take a look at the pack. Unnatural Selection. Oh man, look at all of these clips and samples. Ooh, so much to choose from. Oh, these are all, I guess these are all clips. Are these just audio clips? Yeah, they look like just audio clips. I don't know what I'm gonna do with these. With that. Oh, we can use some of these beats. Bushwick. My wife and I were lucky enough to live in Bushwick for, I mean, I guess it's not really considered living, but we were there for 3.5 months. While I went to Dubspot to learn Ableton Live. Let's see. I mean, this loop is so short, there's not a whole lot we can do with it other than maybe slice it up. That's what we'll do. Let's slice it up into a simpler, and we'll use that as our drum track. Oh, you know, I could slice it into a new drum rack. Do that. Let's see if this is gonna slice it. Let's see. No, wait, that's a 6.0. Oh, I see. So I have the MIDI information right here anyway for that. I'm gonna just do it the old school way. And, well, not really old school because we're using a computer. But let's put in a simpler into this first drum track. So now this is gonna override the TR-8S. Cool with that. And we'll just drag our sample in here and we'll slice it up, and then let's see. Yeah, that's not really going to work because it's got a lot of other data in there. Let's look at some other, maybe I'll backtrack. Let me get back to my drum machine. Maybe Unnatural Selection is better off. We're better off using something else. What happened to oh, there we go. Let's go through some of these other clips. Oh, yeah. That is really unnatural. I see. Every folder has like its own beat. Let's just take a bunch of these, put it in the audio track, and then we'll see what we can do with it in terms of the beat. Yeah, none of these really sound like it would go, but let's see. But, you know, this one could actually work as like in the background of what we've got here. I'm gonna let that ring out, and then I'm gonna program something on the TR-8S. This is what we'll do. Now I'm going to do a little bit of sound design. It looks like I was disconnected. Disconnected from OBS again. But I'm back, it seems. So, yeah, sorry. It looks like I missed out on a couple of the viewers, although, am I really on right now? No. Let me stop streaming and I'll come back on. Oh, here we go. Yeah. So, thanks for joining in again. Sorry, it seems to happen at about an hour. I don't know. Is there something with Twitch that times you out? I thought that there was like a crazy, like 48-hour time limit. Anyway, I think we're back. And yeah, let's go ahead and finish this thing up. I like how this is a little polyrhythmic. I accidentally shifted the whole section over one beat. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to undo that. I'm going to duplicate this. And we'll have one that's correct. And all I have to do for that is actually just shift this one over. Because I think you'll see if, yeah. So we'll have one that's correct, and then this one I'm going to recolor, and then we're going to mess with the timing here. So the first drum beat sounds like this. And then you'll see I'm going to now go back to the... Okay. This is how we programmed it. Okay, and now let's get to this slight shift. Right here. Right here. I like that. That's pretty cool. Okay. And then finally, let's do, we need to put in some ACDGEN. It's actually one of my favorite plugins. And I've got it here. And what you can see is it's definitely made for 303 style sequencing. It's made by this guy in Brazil, and I'm sorry, I can't quite recall his name. I know his first name is Icario, but maybe I'll put it in the comments later on once I find out, once I remember. But it's another great random generating sequencer where you can put in all sorts of different parameters. And while I don't think a 303 is really going to go with this, we can use a 303 to first listen, and then maybe we can add in a, maybe we could reroute it to another. That's what we'll do. Instead of that, I'm just going to route it to this Prophet 6. And yeah, let's just see what it sounds like. Solo it out. First of all, let me see if the Prophet 6 is up and running. Let's find a good patch. It's like an accordion. Oh, this is an arpeggiator. Okay, this is good for now. Oh, I'm gonna also get my latency back to a reasonable level. 6. And we'll activate this MIDI device and see if it's gonna let me ungroup. Ungroup this, and we'll generate a little pattern. Make sure we are in our, I mean, yeah, you only get the minor or major. So right now it's playing a pattern. But what I want to do is I want to make sure that it's in our scale. I mean, first of all, we can put this in C sharp, generate something. And then I want to get a scale effect. And that's Locarian Super. So this is going to go after. So you get, there's a density knob over here where you can make your sequence like super dense with notes. And then there's different variations. And you can generate new ones. And I don't know why it's only letting me generate on one of the variations. But we got a shifter too, and we can go up. So you'll see once we get to this step 3, it'll go up an octave. Also a bunch of tweaks that you can put in, and this is especially good if you've got like a 303 emulation VST or you know, a 303 clone, because you can start putting in some slide probabilities, the hold, you know, put in accents. So I'm kind of liking this pattern. And one of the cool things is you can also, if you don't want to lose out on this pattern, what you can do, and I do this a lot, is I'll put in a MIDI track, because this is a sequencer, right? Like you, and I'll take this MIDI from the Prophet 6 track, and you can record it. Although this plugin actually saves you that step by clicking import as MIDI device, as MIDI. And you see it even gives you some of the steps that it skipped. It'll automatically mute those steps, so you can put those in if you want, which is an advantage over just recording it as MIDI. But I'll show you what that looks like. this MIDI as well. So just for simplicity's sake, I'll get rid of that track. And let's record in some of this profit. I want to use the actual device to do that, though. So I'm just going to solo that out because we've got so much going on now. I'm going to have to sort it all out in the arrangement. But actually, wait, let me play this real quick, and then I'm going to... This will cut through a little bit better. Yeah, I'm gonna have it bounce back and forth using the internal. Right now, the effects that it's using is the internal BBD, delay, and plate reverb. And then we can add some distortion too. Slight. And some slop to give it a little bit of a detuned feel. You can add some noise. Okay, now we just made it sound like a typical Prophet. Okay, so let's go ahead and record that in. So we got our Prophet. Let me rename this before I forget the patch number that we tweaked, 799. And I think we've got everything. We didn't record the Moog, so let's go ahead and do that. And I'm gonna not put too many effects or anything at all on it. So we got the Moog, we got our drum track, and we've got some of our audio tracks. So let me go ahead and rearrange this so that it's easier. If you've joined in on this program before, you know that there's a possibility for a crash when I move these tracks around. Great. Okay, one down. One more to go. Here's our audio tracks. Yes. Okay. I have a feeling it's not live at all. It's actually, what I had done was I deleted the MC101 tracks on my template. I think it's this little box right here. Does anybody use the MC101? I love it. It sounds so great. But I'm telling you, the drivers from Roland's, both the MC101 and the TR-8S, for some reason it just does not agree with my computer, and it just glitches out, and I get all of those kernel panics, and yeah, it's just a little nuts. But I digress. Let me take some of these guys out of the equation, and let's go ahead and put all of these into an arrangement. But before I forget, let me just delete these two tracks. And let's bring all of these clips into arrangement. Come on. There we go. Yeah, and here's our palette. This is like the Bob Ross palette of paints. So now what we're going to be doing is just painting these guys across. This is like, let me get rid of that because we're not even going to be looking at our Finder anymore. Let's go ahead and figure out a great arrangement. But before we do that, it's probably best to name some of these things. I'm going to just call this Moog Digital New Order Guitar. This is the Prophet 6 P6 Program 799. This one is our modular noises. And then this guy is our Mellotron. That was a choir, right? Blue Monday Choir. Let's see what we got so far just at this beginning. Okay, yeah, and then we've got all of these little samples. So what we'll do with those samples is we'll just put them in sparingly. Although let's yeah, I like this subtle beat right here. We got this all from the Unnatural Selection. I think this will go well with our two drum loops. And I'm just gonna keep these clean ones over here, and then I could mess with this. And again, these drums are being fed now into the TR-8S. So we have some extra sound design possibilities. We can go in and mess with the delay, the reverb. There's also a master effects section, and we could also mess with the mixer and some of the morphing of the sound. So just to start off, I don't want to bring this guy, the Moog, in until a little bit later. This guy could come in a little later. Modular noises could just go throughout. And let's just see what it sounds like at the beginning. So we can loop this all the way till about here. I'm going to move this to start. So right here. Hold that. So ahead and mute these guys first. This is what we'll do. I'm gonna put a little snare roll right here. Let's see what this sounds like. That might be too much. What is that sound playing anyway? Yeah. Okay. And then maybe this other wall-to-wall loop from Unnatural Selection. Oh, I see. Okay. Actually, I don't want this one going quite yet. Oh, and then maybe this choir doesn't come in until later. It's so dramatic. Maybe right here. And then what did this radio sound like again?
To see if I can trace my origins. Maybe I'll find myself then.
Well, I don't know, Mike.
Yeah, we gotta use some vocals. So I'm going to give it its own track so we can kind of slice it up and, you know, I'm going to take off that Bushwick beat. What does this one sound like? Oh yeah, this might be good for like a little break. We're going to put our break at 20 bars. Yeah, I'm gonna duplicate that and then I'm gonna reverse this one. Maybe for a bar. This will just be like a little 3-bar break. Let's see. Yeah. We'll do a 4-bar break, keep things even, and then we're gonna come in with like a little different variation of our drum that'll be very subtle. Yeah, and then see. Oh. We got our radio. This is a little too hot.
Let's see if I can trace my...
Let's find a good sample to start the track off.
To see if I can trace my origins. Maybe I'll find myself then.
Well, I don't know, Mike. I just hadn't thought about it.
Well, then don't. Let's just do it. It's a gift from our loving neighbors.
There's a note attached to it. Let me see that, Mike. This is your last warning. Leave, or we will send you back to the hell where you belong.
They're not all clods after all.
Oh my gosh, what a great sample right there. Okay. And of course, there's one time I didn't write down what the radio program name was, so I don't know if I could use it. Commercial track, but. So, this is what we're gonna do. I'm going to, let's insert. Insert time so we can take this guy and
This is your last warning. Leave.
this is what we'll do. We'll make it really.
This is your last warning. Leave, or we will send you back to the hell where you belong.
Oh God, that is so awesome.
To the hell. To the hell where you belong.
They're not all clods after all. Someone had...
What is that sound coming from?
To the hell where you...
Oh, that's the Prophet 6. Luckily, we had recorded that. That's a good way to start the track.
Leave, or we will send you back to the hell where you belong.
Oh, wait. Wait. Oh. A program change happened, and now we're on program 392, but that really works. Sometimes these are little happy accidents that that occur during music production. So let me, hopefully it'll still show up.
Leave, or we will send you back to the hell where you belong.
They're not all clods after all. Someone has imagination and a gift of expression.
This is no laughing matter, Mike. I'm going to find out who...
Oh my gosh. Yes, we got it. 392. This is kind of like Pokemon where, you know, something happens and you're able to catch it. Man. Okay, so I'm excited about this part. And that's what was making that weird noise. I'm not quite sure what's happening with my MIDI, but oops. What I'm gonna do is, this is $7.99. This is different. I gotta mute this one, and then I gotta bring $3.99 over here to start the track.
This is your last warning. Leave, or we will send you back to the hell where you belong.
They're not all clods after all. Someone has imagination and a gift of expression.
This is no laughing matter, Mike. I'm going to find out who...
Okay, and we can also manipulate this guy over here. Although I like the tone of it. Just a little.
This is your last warning. Leave, or we will send you back to the hell where you belong.
They're not all clods.
down 3 steps.
Leave or we will send you. This is your last warning. Leave or we will send you back to the hell where you belong.
They're not all frauds after all. They're not all frauds after all.
This is what we'll do. Let's bring this up here. We're gonna cut this phrase up over here.
Someone has imagination or gift of expression.
This is no laughing.
Yeah, this is what we'll do.
This is no laughing matter, Mike. I'm going to find out who.
Yeah, and we didn't quite get that last phrase. And then right here, insert some silence. I think that's... Uh-oh, what was that? What did I do? Oh, no. Here, I think it's just maybe Command I? Yeah. This will be where we start. Oh, wait.
This is no laughing matter, Mike.
Yeah.
This is no laughing matter, Mike.
And we don't even... Well, maybe this will go good at the end, but I want the bass to kind of drop right here.
This is no laughing matter, Mike.
I'm going to move a kick at the very beginning. That.
This is no laughing matter, Mike.
Oh, yeah. And then here's our second break will be right here. And then we can add some more dialogue.
I don't know, Mike. I just hadn't thought about it.
Come on, then. Let's just do it. Let's see if I can trace my origin.
Right here. Let's take a listen to that.
To see if I can trace my origins. Maybe I'll find myself then.
Well, I don't know, Mike. Well, I don't know, Mike. I just hadn't thought about it.
Well, then don't. Let's just do it.
That's what we'll do. Let me move that over here. Let's move this to the break.
Let's just do it.
I want that
Let's just do it.
right there. I want the woman's voice to come in right here. You can use that other over here. Let's see.
Let's just do it.
Yeah.
Let's just do it. It's a gift from our loving neighbor.
There's another path to it.
Okay. I mean, it'd be nice to put more. Oh. Let's just see what this sounds like.
Let's just do it. To see if I can trace my origin. Maybe I'll find myself there.
Well, I don't know, Mike. I just hadn't thought about it.
Well, then don't.
That's a good. Actually, this will fit perfectly. And then, let me EQ out some of this mud or some of the lows.
Let's just do it. To see if I can trace my origin. Maybe I'll find myself there.
Well, I don't know, Mike. I just hadn't thought about it.
Well, then don't.
A little harsh, but that's okay.
Let's just do it. To see if I can trace my origin. Maybe I'll find myself there.
Well, I don't know, Mike. I just hadn't thought about it.
Well, then don't.
Need this guy again. If we decide to extend it, we could make this a longer song, but since this is our morning page, let's just make this a 2-minute jam. And I think it ends pretty well. And we've used all of our elements. What we can do maybe right here is we can extend this beat to its ending point. It's an odd spot. That's okay. We'll also let's take all of this right here and we'll reverse it. We don't even need this much. Add some transitional automation. I don't even know what this is going to sound like, but we're just going to record it in. That's the fun thing about some of these surprises. And then this modular noise can actually just go all the way. Maybe the modular noise starts over here. Starts at the beginning. Let's see what that sounds like.
This is your last warning. Leave or we will send you back to the hell where you belong.
They're not all clods after all. Someone has imagination and a gift of expression.
This is no laughing matter, Mike.
I mean, I can imagine this part, if we were to, go back and finish it, to just be a more hard-hitting type of track after that beginning. So yeah, and I think that's the fun part of doing morning pages, is that you know you can have an idea kind of going in, or have a set of parameters like we do, go through it, and then you'll discover something totally new that could be either applied to a finalized track, or you know, applied to a different track, or it could spark another idea. So that's why I love doing this. So let's go ahead and record this in as our final track for the day. Thanks for hanging in there for yet another OBS crash / internet crash. I don't know what's going on with my service, but I'll have to try to figure that out. And yeah, come back tomorrow for another edition of Morning Pages. And again, on Friday, I'm going to try and do this Finish Friday thing at around 12 noon Hawaii Standard Time, where I'll go back, maybe it'll be this track, but I'll go back and find a track that I want to finish, and then I'll spend a couple hours just trying to finish it. It might not be as interesting because it's a different part of the music making process, but it's a very important one, because finishing is, of course, one of the hardest things to do in any art form, right? You got to figure out when it's done, and you know, that's always going to take more than just a couple hours. So we're going to try to get as much done as we can, and yeah, so come back on Friday as well. But yeah, first things first, let's record this in, and we'll see you again for another Morning Pages tomorrow. Thanks for joining. Bye.
This is your last warning. Leave, or we will send you back to the hell where you belong.
They're not all frauds after all. Someone has imagination and a gift of expression.
This is no laughing matter, Mike.
Let's just do it. Let's see if I can trace my origins. Maybe I'll find myself there.
I don't know, Mike. I just hadn't thought about it.
Well, then don't.
Thanks again. We'll see you tomorrow.